next story may not be a superhero, but he is trying to change the world through music.
Here's a story of one local man who's following his dreams, even if it means making some tough decisions along the way. MyOcalaTV's Nico Tan has the story.
They say, do what you love and you won't work a day in your life. And if you're 20-year-old Dane Myers, you won't have to go to school either. Taylor recently made a life-changing decision. After spending 1 year in a 4-year university, he dropped out of college to chase the dream of being a full-time musician. Not quite what you would expect from your typical high school valedictorian.
And I just realized that going to school was becoming not good for my work ethic. It just wasn't something I believed in doing, and I found myself waking up each day and dragging myself through doing it.
It obviously wasn't a popular decision with mom and dad. Taylor, whose middle name is Dane after his father, had been an A student his whole life. This is who I am.
It was the first time that my parents and I had ever disagreed about something, a life choice like that, you know? And I totally respect my parents a lot, and so it meant a lot of discomfort in finding out that I really believed in this thing that they didn't get, you know?
But the folks at home soon faced the music and supported their son's choice. But Taylor didn't want to go into this journey alone.
And I'm not a risk taker. You know, Taylor likes to, have those big, leaps of faith, and I'm the opposite. I like to have, a plan. Taylor's always been the guy who has rockets on his shoes.
This time last year, Christian Sierra, keyboard player and aspiring music producer, was living in Tallahassee, going to school with a well-paying part-time job. Close friends since high school, Taylor asked him to move down to Orlando to live with him. The first few times, Christian had to say no.
I brushed it off like I did all the other ones, all the other requests, but for some reason, I realized that, where I was at, I wasn't doing what I love to do.
Taylor must have a way with words. Last January, Christian packed up his life and moved to Orlando. Add Matt, the guitarist, and Joella, the bassist, and we have the Dane Myers Band. You could say it all started here at Vanguard High School, where Taylor and Christian would meet as freshmen. Little did they know they would fully record, mix, and produce an album together. Dane Myers, this changes everything.
When it first came out, it was great because finally I had something to show for what I've been doing for the past, however many months. So it was an explanation to a lot of people that hadn't really heard any of this stuff and just knew that I was working on music stuff all the time. So it was great to have something to show.
Making an album is easier said than done. After starting it in 2012, Taylor thought the album would be done in January of 2013. It actually was released a year later than expected, in April of 2014. But 2 years is not that long when you consider that Taylor and Christian had to learn every aspect of creating a professional album without any professional help. So even though Taylor is no longer in school, he's still learning every single day.
Education is totally for me, and that is a distinction that I think is starting to get made today, is that just because there are a lot of seats in the lecture halls doesn't mean that there are that many students.
Taylor, along with Christian and Matt, have recently moved into a house they're renovating themselves to become a fully functioning recording studio. A studio not only for their own personal use, but so that Taylor and Christian can record other musicians as well.
We're doing a single for a rock band, so we just did some drums and guitars for them. We'll do vocals. So it's completely functional. We can record pretty much anything.
It's a leap of faith many are too scared to take. To give up school and direction for a life of the unknown and possible financial instability. So I asked Taylor straight up, are you crazy?
No, I mean, I think that we're very different in how we look at things from a lot of people. But I mean, crazy is also, spending 30 years driving to a job that you hate. For me, at least, in the way that I look at my life, choosing to give myself up to something that I love is the least crazy thing that I could do.
For MyOcalaTV, I'm Nico Tan.
My darling, you can see just who you are.
Want to hear some of Taylor's music? Check out his album, Dane Myers. This changes everything. Available on iTunes right now.